Hello everyone.
Hello.
This is Marcus,
I'm Melanie.
and part of the impetus for us finally starting our YouTube channel,
7 years and counting,
is from really a tragedy that happened to me.
Well, not quite a tragedy. I mean, you're
Well,
alive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what could have been a tragedy that happened to me, I was on a ladder. It was in April of 2017, almost 20 feet up. I fell, ended up breaking my hip socket, and a few weeks after I came home from the hospital, I realized that at least probably one of my security cameras, or our security cameras, probably caught it on tape. And so trying to get the nerve up to actually look at a video of yourself falling and you broke something was a feat in and of itself. In fact, Melanie still hasn't seen it. So, but I can assure you it's fast, it's short. It's different than I remember, because for me it was in slow motion, and then when I watch it, I was like, oh, that was quick. So that was an interesting experience. But what was really interesting is soon after, even the day after the accident, both of us felt like it was a blessing in it. Like it was definitely, in a sense, ordained by God. Like it was supposed to happen.
Yes. Well, actually, I saw it several times beforehand. That's why I kept saying, please be careful, please be careful.
Yeah, she
Please
did
be
say
careful.
that. And was I careful?
No. No.
Sorry. Anyway, I would say not the best decision in the world. I don't know if you've seen the Geico commercial. We all do dumb things. Well, sometimes we do. The very next day, so I had the first surgery. They put my hip, because it had come out of place when it broke, and I'll share a little more about that, but it broke acetabular, which is the hip socket. So they put it back in place, and they did some stuff with that, and then the next day they were going to do what they would call the second surgery. And even before I had gone into the second surgery, I told my wife, you know, we had talked about during 7 years and counting before we were supposed to start in January, and I said, maybe this is the time we're supposed to start. It's definitely a big event. And so I actually told her, asked her to go home, get the camera, bring it back, and put it on me.
Yes.
So of course that's
in the hospital bed.
In the hospital bed. So that's what she did.
Yes.
They put this blue bonnet on my head. So I thought I was going in for surgery, but apparently they're gonna have me cooking, and they don't want to get hair in the food. The femur bone comes into like a ball part, and it goes into the hip socket, which is the acetabulum. So it moved out of joint about 6 inches up, they said. And then, so when they put it back in place, and they ended up having to use a metal plate. So they put a metal plate behind my hip socket with, they used 10 screws.
10.
And so I now have a metal plate with 10 screws in my hip joint. So it's a miracle even that I'm walking. I'm supposed to be able to walk without a limp. Without a cane, I'm walking with a cane now. So I've progressed quite a bit. And we cataloged some of that, a little bit of the progression throughout, which we might share at some point. Another thing that was really interesting is my wife actually got really sick, Melanie. Melanie got really sick a few years ago, and her illness didn't have anything to do with her legs or anything like that, but she had excruciating pain in her hip socket. It was, for her, it was her right hip socket, and she complained about it. We went to a chiropractor, and it didn't really make sense why she would have pain there, and we never really figured it out
until your accident.
Yeah, after my accident, you know, and I fell and broke my left hip socket, then, you know, as we were talking about it, we said, well, why is it, out of all the things I could have broken, why would my hip socket break? It could have been my shoulder, it could have been anything, and it was just my hip socket. That's the only broken bone in my body. And so it led us to thinking about Jacob, or Yaakov, and in Genesis. And so we ended up talking about that, and actually had our own little Bible study sort of about it. And we realized some epiphanies from having an experience that I don't think we would have realized had we not gone through that experience. And so at some point we definitely will probably do like a little Bible study video and kind of reenact and show you.
Well, the weird thing was that while you were in the hospital, we were like happy, and it didn't make sense. We had joy, like we had the joy of the Lord. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome, but it was weird at the
It
same
was-
time. People
yeah.
were looking at us like we were crazy, like almost like happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yeah, it was
so we knew
interesting.
that there was a blessing, and then when you read about Jacob or Yaakov, there's a blessing that he was given a blessing after he wrestled with God,
Mhm.
and his hip was taken out of the socket. So,
Mhm.
but he didn't limp forever.
Yes.
Most of the time we hear that, but he didn't limp forever.
That's a spoiler alert, but
Oh,
it's
sorry.
definitely one of the epiphanies that we gathered from the experience and from thinking about what I'm gonna have to go through and
Mhm.
all that. So it was definitely eye opening. I would say eye opening, and we're still looking forward to more blessings. But I think this is one of them, being able to share with you guys the experience.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
Well, we hope that this story encourages you in some way, and that you remember when you're going through trials and tribulations to look for the blessings, because God is still in control, and even though we suffer sometimes or we have issues, He still has blessings for us. So be blessed to be a blessing. And if you have any comments, if you had any experiences, please share that below, down below. And please like and subscribe and share it with others.
Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.